baba urusirele monghadi mesia baba selamo yo halalela.
Shalom, Wakazak Mashpaka. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tonic in the Word, right here on GC Creed TV. And like you all know, I remain your humble host, Daniel Fierce Lion Yashirala. And today we'll be starting from the book of Bere'shiyth, chapter 41, all down to chapter 45. And it says, "And it came to pass at the end of the two full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kinds, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kinds came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kind upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and the lean-fleshed kind did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kind. So Pharaoh awoke and slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of grain came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 ranked and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his ruach was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Mizraim, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spoke the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my fault this day. And Pharaoh wroth with his servant, and put him in a word of the captain of the guard's house, both him and the chief butler. Let me come again. He says, I do remember my fault this day. That's 9. Pharaoh was wroth with me, with his servant, and put me in word in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed, each man according to interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Ivri, servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him and interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret, and it came to pass as interpreted to us. So it was. He restored unto my office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of you that you can interpret a dream, that you can understand a dream to interpret it. Now I want you to pick a point here in that verse 15. When verse 14. When they were about to bring Joseph to Pharaoh, we heard that he shaved himself. It is the other nations that are always there, clean shaved. That was why in the book of Leviticus chapter 21 verse 5, they make us understand that we are not meant to shave off the corners of our beards. Same as Leviticus 19:27 too. As men, we are not meant to shave off our beards. It is the other nations that are doing the clean shaved customs. So don't let anybody tell you that cleanliness is next to godliness. That means you should shave off your beard. You are going against the commandment of Yahuwah. So let us move on. But because he was actually an Hebrew, but he was going before the king of another nation, of the Heathens, they had to make him to follow their custom by shaving himself. Let's go on. 16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not me, it is not in me. Elohim shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And the Pharaoh said unto Elioseph, In my dream, behold, I stood up upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Mizraim for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as at the beginning. So I woke up, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came out of the of one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them, and the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim has showed Pharaoh that he has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kinds are 7 years, and the 7 years, and the 7 good kinds are 7 years. The dream is one. The 7 kinds are 7 years. The 7 good years are 7 years. 27. The 7 thin and ill-favored kinds that came up after them are 7 years, and these 7 empty ears, blasted with the east wind, shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Elohim is about to do, he showed unto Pharaoh. For behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Mizraim, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Mizraim, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following. For it shall be very grievous, and for that the dream was double, unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by Elohim, and Elohim will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Mizraim. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the first 5th part of the land of Mizraim in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up grains under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them guard food in the city, and that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Mizraim, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all the servants. 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servant, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Ruach Elohim is? And Pharaoh said unto Elioseph, For as much as Elohim has showed you all this, there is none so discreet and wise as you are. You shall be over my house, and according to your words shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said unto Elioseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Mizraim. Imagine a stranger, but his brothers were trying to see how they can stop this destiny from happening. And Pharaoh took his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen and put a gold chain on about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they carried before him and bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh said unto Elioseph, I am Pharaoh, and without you shall no man lift up his hand or his foot in the land of Mizraim. And the Pharaoh called Joseph's name Sophnath Penak. So can you see that? When he was actually now in the land of Mizraim, now that he is favored, Pharaoh gave him an Egyptian name, which is what? Sophnath Penak. Sophnath Paniak. And he gave him to be his woman Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Mizraim. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, the king of Mizraim. And Pharaoh went out of the presence of, and Joseph went out of the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Mizraim. Now, here's one thing I want to observe. If truly Joseph can choose to stand his ground, you understand the fact that his lineage don't get married to other nations. But because the king wants to honor him, he has no option but to accept that woman, Asenath, which was given to him to be his wife, the daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On, not an Hebrew. Let's press on. 47. And in the plenteous years of the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered all the foods of the 7 years which were in the land of Mizraim, and laid up the food in the city, and the food of the field which was round about every city, laid he up in the sea. And Joseph gathered grain as the sands of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, that it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For Elohim said, He has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second was Ephraim. For Elohim has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteous that was in the land of Mizraim were ended. And the 7 years of famine began to come according as Joseph has said. And the famine was in all lands, but in all the land of Mizraim there was bread. And all the land of Mizraim was famished. The people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Mizraim, Go unto Joseph, what he says to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Mizraim And the famine waxed sore in the land of Mizraim, and all the countries came into Mizraim to El Joseph for to buy grains, because that the famine was so sore in all the land. Chapter 42. Now, when Joseph saw that there was grain in Mizraim, Joseph said unto his son, Why do you look up, you look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is grain in Mizraim, and get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's third son went down to buy grain in Mizraim. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob, sent not with his brethren. For he said, Lest perchance mischief befall him. The son of Yasharel came to buy grain among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed themselves before him with their face to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strangers unto them, and spoke roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come you? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. Joseph knew his brethren, and they knew him not. Joseph knew his brethren, but they don't know him. Why? Because of the little change on him. Joseph, that according to the Hebrews, we are meant to be on beard, but the Joseph they are seeing actually is totally shaved, like the Egyptians. So that's why they were unable to recognize him. 9. And Joseph remembered the dream which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my Adonai, but to buy food are your servants come. We are all one man's son. We are true men. Your servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Your servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that it is it that I spoke unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby you shall be proved, by the life of Pharaoh shall not give you. Now 15. Hereby ye shall be proved, by the life of Pharaoh you shall not go forth hence, except your younger brother comes hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you. Or else by the life of Pharaoh surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear Elohim. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry grains for the famine. For the tourism. Verse 20. But bring your youngest brother to me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are truly guilty concerning our brother. in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is the distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spoke I not unto you, do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spoke unto them by an interpreter. He turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again and communed with them, and took from them Shimon and bound him before their eyes. Now I want you to observe something here. Despite who Joseph was, despite how superior he was, despite how he tried his best to like, let me just pretend like I'm not the person who they know, but still yet he felt emotional. He felt emotional that he had to turn himself around and weep and weep. Let's press on. And Joseph that their sacks with commanded to fill their sacks with grain, and to restore every man's money into a sack. And he gave them provisions for the way. And thus did they and thus did they all and thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with the grain, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it in his sack's mouth. And he said to his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that Elohim has done unto us? And they came unto Jacob, their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Adonai of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. 31. And he said unto them, We are true men, and we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. 33. And the man, the Adonai of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone. Verse 34. And bring your youngest brother for unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spy, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sack, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both of them and their father was the bundle of money, they were afraid. And Jacob said unto their father, and Jacob, their father, said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Shimon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spoke unto his father, saying, Slay my two sons, if I bring him not unto you. Verse 38. And my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is dead alongside. verse 36, 8 again. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hair with sorrow to Sheol.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number +234 811 731 0928.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. So let's proceed. We are now in chapter 43. And it says, and the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass, and when they had eaten up the grain which they brought out of Mizraim, their father said unto them, go again, buy us a little food. And Yehudah spoke unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, ye shall not see my face except your brother be with you. And if you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, ye shall not see my face except your brother be with you. And Yasharel said, wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had a brother? And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down? And Yehudah said unto Yasharel his father, send the lad with us, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and you, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shall you require him, if I bring him not unto you, and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Yasharel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this, take of the best fruit in the land in your vessel, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spice and myrrh, nuts and almonds, and take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, and carry it again in your hand, perchance it has an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise, and go again unto the man, and El Shaddai give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hands, and Benjamin, and they rose up and went down to Mizraim, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of the house, bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time, And we, and the first time, are we brought in, and he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses. And if they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came instead down at this first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other monies have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be unto you, fear not. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your father has given you treasures in your sack. And I have your money. And he brought Shimon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon. For they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well? The old man of whom you spoke, is he yet alive? And they answered, Your servant our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spoke of unto me? And he said, Elohim be gracious unto you, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his heart did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Mizraims which did eat with him by themselves, because the Mizraim might not eat bread with the Ephraim, for that is an abomination unto the Mizraim. Why do you think the Hebrews can't eat bread with the Mizraims, that's the Egyptians? Remember that in the book of Exodus, the Most High himself said, he compared the people of Egypt, the Mizraims, he compared them as unto dogs. Yahuwah's people are at the top, every other nation actually they are below them. So it's an abomination for them to eat with those that are chosen of Yahuwah. Let's press on. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another, and he took and sent mercies unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times as much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. Chapter 44. So we proceed. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his grain money. And he did according to the word of Joseph, that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their horses. And they were gone out of the city, and now, yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when you do overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it in which my Adonai drinks? and whereby indeed he divines, ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spoke unto them these same words. And they said unto him, Wherefore says my Adonai these words? Far be it that your servants should do according to these things. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouth we brought again unto you out of the land of Canaan. How then shall we steal out of your Adonai's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of your servants it be found, let him die, and we will be your Adonai's bondmen. And he said, Now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man a sack to the ground, and opened every man a sack. And he searched and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Yehuda and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Know ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Yehuda said, What shall we say unto my Adonai? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? Elohim has found out the iniquity of your servant. Behold, we are my Adonai's servant, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, Far be it that I should do so, but the men in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Then Yehuda came near unto him and said, O my Adonai, let your servant, I pray you, speak a word in my Adonai's ears, and let not your anger burn against your servant, for you are even as Pharaoh. My Adonai asked a servant, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my El Adonai, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loves him. And you said unto your servant, Bring him unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my El Adonai, The lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father will die. And you said unto your servant, Except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more. And it's come to pass, when we came up unto your servant my father, we told him the words of my Adonai. Can you see that? The same people who are saying that, are we going to bow down to you, or will you rule over us? They are the same people calling yourself their brother, their Adonai, which is like their master. And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down if our youngest brother be not with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face except our youngest brother be with us. And the servants and your servant, my father, said unto us, Ye know that my woman bore me 2 sons. Did you see that? Now they are the ones saying that their father was Adonai. They were trying to stop the prophecy from happening, but it finally happened. And why do you think they said, and he said, that's their father, you know that my woman bore me 2 sons. Why can't he say that, you know that his mother, he said my woman? Because Raquel happens to be the initial woman that his heart longed for, and not Leah. Let's press on. And the one went out from me and said, surely it is torn in pieces. And I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hair with sorrow to Sheol. Now therefore, when I come to your servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he sees that the lad is not with us, that he will die, and your servants shall bring down the gray hairs of your servant our father with sorrow to Sheol. And your servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto you, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray you, let your servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Adoni, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest perchance I see the evil that shall come on my father. The last chapter for the day. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out. He cried, cause every man to go out from him, and there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. The words of Yehuda, his brother, it was before that whenever I tried to cry, he would go in to go and cry, wash his face and come back. But the words of his brother Yehuda touched him that he couldn't hold himself anymore. Joseph burst into tears, and immediately he asked all the steward, all the servants in his house to leave. It was then that he revealed himself to his brother who he was. And he wept aloud, and the Mizraim of the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Does my father yet live? And his brother could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. Why do you think they were troubled? Because conscience catch up with them. They were like, if the same Joseph that we sold can be the one in charge now, are you sure he will not try to judge us for the wicked we have done unto him? That was why they were afraid. Let's press on. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and they said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Mizraim. And now therefore, be not grieved, not angry with yourself, that ye sold me hither. For Elohim did send me before you to preserve lives. See that? He told them not to feel guilty for what they did, because Yahweh sent him ahead of time to preserve life because of that famine happening. Because if Joseph was actually sold, how will they be able to find a way out to escape that 7 years famine? To tell you that truly, Yahuwah sees the end from the beginning. Let us press on. Verse 6. For these 2 years has the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, and in the which there shall neither be hearing nor harvest. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it is not you that sent me hither, but Elohim. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and Adon of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Mizraim. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus says your son Joseph, Elohim has made me Adon of all Mizraim, Come down unto me, tarry not, and you shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near unto me, you and your children, and your children's children, and your flocks, and your herds, and all that you have. And there will I nourish you, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty. Now, if you observe here, despite what actually happened to Joseph, he never counted what his brother did to him for sin. But he said it was Yahuwah that sent him ahead of time. But he said something, and he did something. He asked his brother to come and stay with him, else that they will tarry in poverty. Now, here's my question. How many of you are waking Hebrews today? I've seen a fellow Hebrew like yourself who is in need, and you have actually turned up to him or turned up to her and helped them. Yahweh actually put in that position. Yahweh have a reason why you are much more better than the person financially. It's because so that you can be a person to help them in their time of trouble. Remember what the scripture says in the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 3. It says, there can no good come to him that is occupied in evil, or neither is any good that comes to him that gives no alms. Now you are helping your brother, helping your sister actually. There's a blessing attached to it. Don't think it is free. Nothing is free. Yahweh sees everything you're doing. Let's press on. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaks unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Mizraim, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and went upon them and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servant. And Elohim said unto El-Yosef, and Pharaoh said unto El-Yosef, say unto your brethren, this do ye, lay your beasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your household, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Mizraim, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, this do ye, that you wagons out of the land of Mizraim for your little ones and for your women, and bring your father and come. You see that? Joseph was unfavored, that the favor that he had even extended to his own family, that Pharaoh had to ask them to wagon out. Means bring out the wagons. Use the wagon to go and bring in your children, your wives, and even your father. Not like the asses they brought at first. Verse 20. And regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Mizraim is yours. And the children of Yasharel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons, according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Mizraim, and 10 she asses laden with grains and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Mizraim and came into the land of Canaan unto Yaakov their father. and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Mizraim. And Jacob's heart fainted, and he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to him, the ruach of Jacob was their father revived. And Jasharel said, It is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. Now you can see that, truth be told, there's something that Joseph played here. That's the ruach of forgiveness. That's what his brothers actually did to him. He never counted that against them. He forgave them. He forgave them. And even asked them to go and call their father. If it's a bit, some people actually, they will say, for what they've done to me, I can't forgive them, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. We need to learn how to forgive. So with this, I make it a wrap onto this episode of the program, Daily Tonic in the Words, right here on GC Create TV. I remain your humble host, Daniel Fesalayan Yasharala. And with this, I say shalom and bye for now.